All right, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to go over oil lines, tanks, and all the fittings. So stay tuned, you'll learn all those and more. So first off the bat, what do you got? A Sportster, an Ironhead, a Big Twin, Big Bad Boy Evo. What do you got? A Panhead, a Knuckle, a Shovel. There's pretty much two sides. There's Ironhead and there's Sportsters together because the pump is underneath the bike. And when you like a shovel or a pan or something, the pump is on the side of the motor, out of the motor. So you'll have more vents or vents going to the chain or the primary chain side, while Sportsters don't really have all that. It's a little bit more simple, but I'm gonna go over it. This is gonna be general, and then I'll pop some photos in as I go. All right, now that you got your bike and you figured out what kind of chopper overlord you're gonna be, you're gonna wanna figure out what kind of oil tank you're gonna go with. Most bikes, they come with a horseshoe type. The cheaper option is usually the pill type. And if you're just running a swing arm or you got a chopper where you're just trying to reuse everything, usually the stock bags are a good way to go. So you're basically just going for aesthetic. There's no real function between any of them. They're all kind of just for looks at that point, how you want to do your bike, what fits. Either way, they're all pretty much the same function. All right, once you figure out what bike you got and what you're going after and what style you're going for, you're gonna need to choose your oil bag. First up, you can choose a horseshoe oil bag. It's the most iconic. Pretty much every bike has one. You can get them for any style bike. Every website that sells chopper parts has their own unique oil bag. Horseshoes are definitely good. They're bigger, they fill up a lot of space. You can put a battery in them. If you have like a Sportster or something, the backbone goes behind the oil bag, hiding a little bit of it. It's all preference. Next up, the pill style. Pill style is like a minimalist. You're gonna have a lot more exposed. It's cheaper. You can easily make one. You could find anything that's that diameter, put some holes in it and some MPT fittings and you're good. The pill style is vertical, it's barrel shaped. You might have to keep in mind that they don't hold as much oil. Sometimes you might have to check, they might be a little small. So if you get a bigger one, you'll be better off. But a lot of times if they're bigger, they'll hold the battery. It's just all preference. The third option is the stock one. Stock is just, you're building a bike and you don't want to buy too many things. You can't afford an oil bag. You don't want to buy a pill style just because it's cheaper. Stock has the bag on one side and the battery on the other. So a lot of people kind of tend to not like that because the battery's next to your leg. It kind of doesn't give it a chopper vibe. But I think they're cool. Use what you got. It's a cool chopper thing to do. I think it's a cool style. It's a little bit easier for maintenance, I think. But I also think it's a good way to go. Saves you a little bit of coin. All right, so you got your oil bag. You got it all fabbed up. You're ready to rock and roll. Now you're looking to figure out how the heck does this thing even work? Where do all these holes go to? Almost every oil bag has a feed, a vent, a return, and a drain. So what you want to do first is try to figure out how you get oil to the oil pump. So that's your feed line. So figure out your feed line. That's the one that's going to be running from the bag to the motor, and that's how you supply your motor with oil. So once your motor's getting fed oil, you're gonna wanna find the return. So from the pump goes back to your oil bag, maybe through your oil filter. The third hole is gonna be your vent. The vent can be the most confusing one. The vent line is made for air to move out of the motor through the tank to keep even pressure throughout the system. A lot of times the vent line will be smaller, 1/4 inch hose. I've even on my Sportster stepped it up and kept it all the same. But without the vent line, you cause a lot of pressure and that'll cause you a lot of leaks. So if you got a leak, it's because you're clogging up the vent somehow. So the fourth one is just your drain. Sometimes the oil bags don't even have the drain. You'd have to put it at your lowest point of your oil bag and just drain it out of one of the hoses. Most of them just have a screw type or an extra hose just going off into nowhere, and that's how you drain your oil. Let's go with the hoses, the fittings, and the clamps that you need for your bike. Most oil tanks are 1/8 MPT. It stands for National Pipe tapered. So what that means is the fitting you're using is going in to a tapered diameter. So when you're tightening it in, you want to snug it up. You don't want to over tighten it. There's no torque spec. Just put it in there, and then if you ram it in there, you're going to crack something or break something. I recommend using these square types. For me, they're easy to wrench on. If you use these other types you get, everybody tries to get them from Lowbrow. These ones, I can never get them on there good enough. You can use your hand, but you always want that extra little turn. So alongside having a tapered thread, I use the Teflon tape, usually with everything, but with anything hot, motor, or even like gasoline, the tape will get in the oil lines. So I use the liquid sealant. Kind of saves my butt every time. It's a little easier. You don't have to wrap the whole thing. Sometimes the tape is a little too long and you end up break off into your oil and go circulating through your motor. I don't think it'll destroy anything, but it just sucks. So once you get your MPT fitting and you dial that in, which one you want, I usually take it in to your auto parts store and try to get a 3/8 oil line hose. These are pretty much standard. I usually bring the MPT fitting in, try to get the one that fits the best. I've just gotten them without doing that, and they were too big. I got gas lines or something, and I had leaks and problems down the road, because once your bike heats up, you're gonna find all your leaks. Yeah, so just make sure it's a tight fit right off the bat. It'll save you down the road. All right, the next thing is you're gonna want clamps or something to secure that hose onto your MPT fitting. This is just get the clamp type. Get this type. You can't go wrong. Of course, there's the stock type that are on there already, and there's all kinds of other goofy things you could do, but I just get a kit. Harbor Freight if you have to. They're cheap. Just get a bunch of them. You'll need them. You can use them all over your bike. No frills, just get the basics. Yeah, oil bags, pretty simple. Get yourself an oil bag, get some good lines, use the fittings right, don't over tighten them, use the liquid based sealant, never the tape, and yeah, just make sure everything's good and tight. Oil goes to the motor and oil leaves the motor. Pretty simple. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Go down there, subscribe, leave a comment. What did you do with your oil lines and bags and all that? What kind did you use? And see you on the next one.